Hello and welcome to the Daily Meal for Saturday, the 20th of November 2021. Today was a match day, and as I suspected, I told you all in yesterday's video, it was bound to be a draw, wasn't it? It was either going to be a 0-0 or 1-1, and it was a 1-1. And this is the match report from news@den.co.uk. Middlesbrough 1, Millwall 1. Millwall extended their unbeaten run in the Championship to 3 games after battling performance earned them a point against Middlesbrough in Chris Wilder's first game in charge of the Teessiders. Millwall had to brace themselves for a fast-paced start from a Wilder side that were ready to hit the ground running. Duncan Watmore almost scored on 12 seconds when he was released through the heart of the Millwall defence, but Bartosz Białkowski handled his effort well. Minutes later, Daniel Ballard made a vital challenge at the death when Andres Spora received a defence-cutting pass. Ballard slid across Spora as he was about to release his shot on goal. Borough were pinning Millwall back in their own defensive third, and it didn't take much longer for Wilder to see his first goal in the Borough dugout. Watmore received the ball on the left-hand side and drove into the box, putting Scott Malone on his backside in the process. A fizz ball deflected up into the air and fell kindly to Matt Crooks at the back post, who was on hand to nod home to give Borough the lead and send the Riverside into raptures. Millwall rallied themselves and set about taking the game back to Borough, using their physical presence to full effect. Mason Bennett palmed off Paddy McNair, who fell to the floor clutching his face, and drove into the box. His cutback found Benikafobe, whose loose touch allowed Lee Peltier to slide in and block, but the ball rebounded off the shins of Sol Bamba, wrong-footing Luke Daniels, and rolling into the net. It doesn't matter how they go in, just as long as they do. Borough's players protested against the initial incident involving McNair, given that he had already received treatment for a cut to the eye, but referee Oliver Langford waved away the claims. Millwall had to deal with a Borough response as Marcus Tavernier fired in on goal after jinking past Cooper, but Białkowski was once again on hand to palm the effort away. Billy Mitchell had a chance to put Millwall in front after his initial effort was blocked. The ball set up nicely for a looping header on the edge of the box that landed on the top of the net. After 7 minutes of added time before the half-time break, Millwall kept the game level at the Riverside, while the home side had the majority of chances. They felt the game was far from over. The Lions almost roared into the lead 3 minutes into the second half when Jed Wallace made ground in the Borough half and teed up a Phobie, whose blazing effort was deflected over by a Bamba sliding tackle. The game lulled for around 20 minutes and Millwall attempted to impose themselves on the game while Borough attempted to find a rhythm. Tavernier gave them something to think about in that time with a bending effort that Białkowski's tipped over the bar before Borough's number 8 almost turned provider with a teasing cross that Jake Cooper was forced to hook over his own bar. A Phobie's effort was Millwall's only real shot of any note in the second half, with Gary Rowett's men seemingly happy to restrict the home side and dig in for an away point. The away side shuffled the pack to just one striker as Borough piled balls and red shirts in their defensive third. Millwall's hard work was so close to being undone in the 89th minute after the head tennis on the edge of the box. The ball fell kindly to Crooks, who watched the ball drop and lashed his volley high and wide. A big sigh of relief. In the end, Millwall shared the spoils and put a dampener on Wilder's housewarming party at the Riverside. The Millwall team was as follows: Białkowski, Leonard, Ballard, Hutchison, Cooper, Malone, Mitchell, Saville, Jed Wallace, Afobe, Bennett. And the substitutions were Matt Smith for Jed Wallace on 86 minutes, Clifton Bell for Afobe on 81, and Ojo for Bennett on 67. The unused substitutes were Long, Murray Wallace, Bradshaw, and Evans. Sounds like a good point for us. It sounds like we were second best all game, it seems, in terms of going forward, and we got a bit luckier in defence. And apparently a really good display by Bart Białkowski. So, and I told you in yesterday's video about we haven't won up at Middlesbrough many times, like literally 4 or 5 times over 30 games. So to get a draw is from a trip to Middlesbrough is a good result. Having just read this match report, a point is a good result because it seems we could have lost that game quite easily. Yeah, I mean, it's an away game, a long way from home. The point's a good result, and it was expected. We all expected it was going to be another draw. We can barely score more than one goal, so as soon as we concede, best we can do is 1-1. Moving on now, so we're going to end with post-match comments from Gary Rowett a couple of times. So this one is from news@den.co.uk. Possibly controversial. Mill boss makes assessment after Lions come back at Borough. Gary Rowett was pleased with a good point as Mill drew 1-1 with Middlesbrough. Chris Wilder's first game at the Riverside Stadium. The Lions are 9th, 3 points off 6. It's 3 tough games in certain ways. We've won 1 and drawn 2, Rowett said. We had opportunities in the last game to win. Today was a little bit of a different game. We were coming into the unknown to a certain degree in Chris's first game, but we had a good idea how they would play, but of course you don't know, so preparation is more of a challenge. We spoke a lot about the first 15-20 minutes, the crowd being hugely motivated to see a new manager start brightly, and we knew they would try and start brightly against us. We navigated some of those moments quite well, but then we'd become a little bit wasteful on the ball, and then we lost it. The likes of Crooks and Watmore started to get into very good positions on the transition. They started to cause us problems, mainly from long distance. There weren't any clear-cut chances. There were a lot of shots from distance. There were saves for Bart to make, but he's a top-class keeper, so I would expect him to make quite a lot of those saves. We then conceded a really poor goal. It was good play by them, but we get beat 1v1 on the touchline, which shouldn't happen. The cross comes in, and we've got 2 defenders spare, and Crooks ends up editing it in the back of the post. It was disappointing to be 1-0 down, but I couldn't say at that point Middlesbrough didn't deserve something. We then bounced back really well, as we have done, possibly a controversial moment, because I think the linesman flags when Watmore and Scott Malone make a challenge. The linesman flags for a foul, so at that point it would be a difficult decision for the referee if he goes with the linesman's decision, but he isn't far away. Maybe he's seen it more clearly. I haven't seen the incident back, so I can't comment, but I'm sure they will be disappointed with that, because we then go back the other end and score a good goal ourselves. It's good play from Mason Bennett. He cuts it back, and it's a good run from Bennett. Good shot, and it ricochets off the keeper and hits Solbamber and goes in. For us to go in 1-1 at half time was a bit of a lifeline. I was a bit disappointed with the way we played in the first half. What I would say, second half as an away team, I thought we played with a lot more confidence, a lot more control. We still had to navigate little periods of 5 or 10 minutes when they put us under pressure and the crowd were up for it. They got some good players in 1v1 positions, and I just felt as though they caused us too many problems around the edge of the box. But we just about defended with enough resilience. Maybe we want a little bit more going forward, but we had a couple of moments. The final pass could be better. But overall, I think it is a good point. Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah. I think this is a repeat of... Yeah, I think this is the... Most of this is the same. This is from londonnewsonline.co.uk. It is slightly different. So we moved the ball. This is Gary Wright said we moved the ball quite well in the first half, but then we just started to overplay. They looked at danger on the counter early on. We left ourselves open in the wide positions, and our shape in the way we passed the ball from a defensive point of view was not great. We conceded the goal. I couldn't say they didn't deserve something, but it's a really poor goal to concede. Dan gets beat a little bit too easily, and we just leave Matt Crooks all alone on the back post with 2 players marking no one. What we have done recently is given away really soft goals, which is unlike us. We then reacted really well. It's a good goal on our behalf. Good play from Mason and Bennett. He gets a bit of luck with it going in off the defender. They perhaps feel there's a red card incident with Scott Malone on Watmore, but Scotty felt he won the ball fairly. I had a go at the players at half time. It's another one of our first half performances where we can't play how we want to in the first half of games. And honestly, the game plan we talked about was positive. tasking the game to them, taking the game to them, starting on the front foot, a little bit more freedom. Second half, I would say, was a really good response from an aspect of control, from our perspective away from home at a tough place, and a team that will only get better and better under Chris. The performance was enough to get us at least a draw. So seems that Gary Rowett had a game plan in the first half. The players couldn't implement it because Middlesbrough were too good, or they were nullifying it, and the players couldn't react. Second half, he changed and they did a bit better. So, okay. This is also from LondonNewsOnline.co.uk. More comments from Gary Rowett. I don't know why they spun it into two different stories, but Gary Rowett has pinpointed where he felt his Mill side made mistakes in their 1-1 draw with Middlesbrough. The Lions are once again forced to come from behind in the game to earn a point. Sol Bamba own goal will restore parity after Matt Crooks giving the home side the lead. Rowett told Millwall's official websites they've got good players. The only problem I had was there was too many occasions where one of their players beats one of ours, and we didn't do that enough ourselves in the game. That's why we didn't create as many chances as we'd like. So we still had some good moments. Bennick had a great chance in the second half off the flick of a throw-in, and he said he should have scored. That last pass is the problem. You have to dig in sometimes. We had to be resolute today, and we've earned a good point. I don't think they created any real clear-cut chances. We started a little bit slowly. Once Mace came to life, he brought the other two to life. At times our front three were a handful. At times we didn't back them up with enough quality. Millwall have still only lost 4 games this season, and they face high-flying Bournemouth on Wednesday night, looking to avenge the 4-1 defeat the Cherries inflicted on them towards the end of last season. These are the games we know at the Den we need to go out and perform, said Rowett. We need our fans. They were brilliant today. The fans that came up here, it was a hellish journey, but they've given us great support. Our away fans are fantastic and our home fans are fantastic when we have given them something to get behind. Wednesday will be a tough game. Everyone can clearly see that. Fulham and Bournemouth are a step ahead of everyone, but that's the challenge. Yes, and Fulham earlier in the season absolutely ripped us a new one, but the game still only ended 2-1 to them. So, and apparently there were 429 Millwall fans up there today, apparently. 429. So that's a pretty decent turnout to go all that way, but that was it. So there you go. There's Gary Rowett saying the Middlesbrough players were more motivated, it seems, and in the 1v1s they had the domination of the Millwall players, which is it's just something that happens, isn't it? It's just, we got the point, we move on. So this is from newsatden.co.uk. So Mill boss has an interesting answer when asked if it's a big season for Stoke man Benik Afobe. Mill boss Gary Rowett said there was always pressure on everyone at the club to deliver after the Lions 1-1 draw at Middlesbrough on Saturday. Rowett was responding to a question about Benik Afobe's season after the attacker was involved in Millwall's equaliser, Sol Bamba own goal following Matt Crooks opener for Borough. Afobe is on a season-long loan from Stoke City and could be a target for a permanent transfer. Rowett was asked if it's a big season for the forward, who has scored 3 goals so far this campaign. I think it's a big season for everyone at the club. Every player, every member of staff, every season is a big season because we're in football, Rowett said. You have a poor season and you're forgotten about as a player. You lose 4 games and you're out of work as a manager. You might be out of work as a staff member. It's a big season for everyone. I don't like to say it's a big season for one player. Every player that's a forward wants to get into double figures. If you haven't done that previously, of course, this is a season that you want to do it and kick you back on. We've got a lot of faith and trust in the players, and they've done brilliantly for me so far. Bennett got better and better. When you see him today backing into the likes of Sol Bamba and winning and keeping the ball up there, that's what we need from him. We need him to show both sides of the game. He's had some really big chances in games, and I know over a long period of time he'll score those chances. He's a quality forward, but it's like anything. When he hasn't had the last few seasons as good as he would like, we've got to keep working and get the best out of our players. we're like that with everyone. We can't buy the instant player that's going to go and score 15 or 20 goals, so we have to work incredibly hard to get that. We've got some very good forward options, and I think this season they will be vital for us. Okay, so Gary Rowett backing up Benicophobe there. Even though he's only scored 3 goals, he basically calls the goal today the own goal, but that goes down as an own goal. It doesn't go as a goal for Benicophobe. And there were other times as well where he won some penalties early in the season. He got through. He was 1v1. He was probably gonna score. Gets pulled down a couple of times. That happened to him. So when you're looking at the raw numbers and just how many goals he scored, it doesn't really tell the whole picture. Yeah, so let's have a look. So we stay where we are. We're 9th. We're on 9th with 26 points, and we are now 3 points above Middlesbrough in 14th, and we're 3 points behind Queen's Park Rangers in 6th. But there is a bit of a gap opening up between 5th and us. We're now 5 points off of 5th and 4th, and to be honest, the top 3 are probably the best 3 teams in the league. Fulham, AFC Bournemouth, and West Brom. There's no reason why we couldn't finish 4th, to be honest with you. Well, apart from this here, how many goals we scored? 18 goals. Now that is the worst in the league, apart from the bottom 4 teams. Only scoring 18 goals. That's average of 1 goal a game. Now we've only conceded 18, which is best in the league apart from the top 3. So we've got a top 3 defense, but we've got a bottom 4 attack. So that's not good. It really isn't good. We've got a relegation battling attacking form, but we've got championship contending defensive form. It is what it is, isn't it? It is what it is. How do we change that? How do we score more goals? Or do we just try and win every game 1-0 like George Graham's Arsenal? Can we do that? Is that possible? Is it possible in this league? I don't think it is. I don't think you can do that in this league. This league's batshit crazy. You can't really control each game like that and win 1-0. It doesn't work like that. But yeah, so Wednesday we're playing Bournemouth, and then we play Hull on next Saturday. So the whole game should be a winnable game, even though it is away. So, but that Bournemouth game, now look at this. They've only conceded 10 goals in 17 games. We've only scored 18 in 18 games. Literally the best defense in the league versus one of the worst attacks in the league. How's that going to work out? Well, hey, I would like to say that I believe that we could get a result out of that, but you've got to prepare yourself for the worst. I mean, you've seen the Fulham game. They were all over us, and we were lucky to come away being only 2 goals down, and then Afobe gets a little deflection off of Matt Smith's header, and it's 2-1. So, yeah, I'm not too sure about the AFC Bournemouth game. I really am not. But they've only lost once in the league so far, so they're due. They're probably overdue because the other teams have lost 3. Even Fulham on top of the table. They're the best team in the league. They've lost 3 games. So you would imagine Bournemouth are due a loss. Now they might lose in their game that I assume they're playing tomorrow. Are they? Are they playing Derby tomorrow? Or today, Sunday. Let's have a look. Yeah, they're playing Derby at 12 o'clock on Sunday, so I can't see them losing that. But that might be in our favour. That might be in our favour. If we've got an extra day's rest compared to them, they're playing on Sunday. We play today on Saturday. That might help us out. I don't know. Maybe. Plus, it's a midweek game at the Den. I don't know if the crowd will be there. Maybe a lot of people might be put off because it's freezing cold and they're probably going to expect a tanking, so maybe they might not bother travelling down there. But it will be typically the type of game that you see Millwall players turn it on and you see them get the result. Oh, it wouldn't surprise me if we won comfortably against Bournemouth. It wouldn't surprise me. But it wouldn't surprise me if he got heavily beaten as well. Anyway, so match day 1-1 draw. We knew it was going to be a draw, and it was a draw. The prophecy was foretold. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.